What's going on? In the words of Marvin Gaye, what's going on a Monday night? Outlaw Radio live from the basement. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It's your man, 50 grand Kevin Barnes, the militant with a microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer. Let's get it in on a Monday night, y'all. 414 stand up, Milltown stand up. Sitting on some apparel right here, just in case you're checking us out. You want to represent for the show. Got this apparel in, got these t-shirts back on deck. We're gonna get the hoodies back on deck. We're gonna make it do what it do, man. Welcome to the show, man. Like I said, my name is Kevin Barnes. This is what I do on Monday nights, with whatever spare time I have, and also come back on Wednesday nights and do the same thing. I'm looking forward to bringing the Big Black Sports Show back. Packer season is back. The Bucks will be up pretty soon. Big Black Sports Show indicates that we talk about sports that Black people care about. Thus, I don't cover baseball, right? And rarely do I cover NASCAR. I think one time a gentleman told me that was called good Black racism. A lot of stuff to talk about tonight, man. I hope my co-pilots tune in as we go along. I'm pretty sure they will. There's a thing called life that gets in the way when you intended on getting on the show. Man, what's going on, Marcus Holly? I see you, man. I see you, my brother, man, from North Dakota. By way of the Twin Cities, played ball with his brother a very long time ago. Shout out to you, man. What's up, Big Hog? Paris LaShawn out in Denver. Peace Outlaws. This is Brother Shay and Kruma from Frontline Black News. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Running for mayor out in Denver. 414 stand up, man. Like I said, man, this is what I do on Mondays and Wednesdays. I have the People's Network in which I do the Big Black Sports Show. We do Outlaw Nation. Our whole thing is just to do and talk about things that are pertinent to Black people. I got one of my co-hosts with me, man. What's popping with you, Mr. Carter? What's going on?
Hey, man, I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Happy to make it. Happy to make it. Hey, man, look, I went down. I got to give a shout out to Spin Milwaukee. You heard of them?
I have.
Yeah, shout out to Spin Milwaukee, man. I just went and did a session down there. Shout out to Tycee Gossi for the invite. Man, let me tell you, they worked me out, man. And it was fun, too. You know what I'm saying? It was a dope workout and it was fun. So shout out to Spin Milwaukee. No
That's
doubt.
what's up. What's up with you otherwise?
Hey, man, doing my thing, man, moving and grooving. Trying to keep moving.
Okay. Welcome to the show. Live
staying busy.
Right, man. You out here with your nature's nature, man. You rocking and rolling, man. Busy man nowadays.
Man. That's
in high
idea,
demand,
man.
as they say.
Say what?
I said you in high demand, as they say.
Hey, man, it's a blessing.
I know, man. I know, ain't it? Man, we got the hood hippie. We got the ghetto witch doctor. Now we got the hood hippie himself.
Yeah, tapping on it.
What's going on, partner?
Hey, I'm blessed, man. Just been working on these
blessings
new ventures.
Everywhere. Look at that. He just mentioned it. Blessings everywhere, man.
Hey, yeah, man. Abundance. I receive it. I'm just walking in it, man. Just trying to get these new products cracking. Started doing health and beauty products again because Facebook be hating when I see him.
Yeah, buddy.
Right. Facebook be hating on me, man.
Hey, y'all know I got the avenues.
Oh, okay.
I got the avenues. All you gotta do is come on out and post up.
Man, we've been talking about it for a long time, man. Black business, if you out there and you got a black business, you doing something positive or progressive in the community, make sure you hit us up because we like to get with like-minded individuals and push anything positive, man. So regardless of the bullshit you hear us talk about tonight, we get real. It is what it is. It's Outlaw Radio. If you black and you out there and you say, man, I want to go in there and talk about what I'm doing or I got some opinions. First of all, there's a number 262-202-5131 and there's a Cash App right there, right? Like if you like what we doing and you want to see it gain some traction, get bigger, better. Also, if you want to get some apparel, that's the Cash App you would use to pay for the apparel. It's going down, man. It's going down.
Yeah.
But once again, I come to you with bowed head, right, and tearful eye because of the level of violence in my community. Tragic. First of all, a bunch of tragic shootings and murders over the weekend, but one that's really crazy, which is something, and it kind of goes into what we talk about on here. Um, two 88-year-olds shot, one murdered. I think it was three total, but I don't know if I think one of the ladies was younger, but I know there was an 82-year-old shot, and you know, one perished, and this is someone I don't know. This brother's 43 years old. I'm guessing mental health plays a part in this. He flees from the police. There's a shootout. The crazy part is somehow, some way, after he shot, after they put him down, or it was a self-inflicted wound, I guess, his gun goes off and still hits one of the police officers. I don't know how this plays out, but I just, when 80 plus year old citizens can't sit on their porches and just kick back and just relax, we got a serious problem. Not as if we didn't have a problem before, but like I see a lot of pump faking. I see a lot of, driving to the hoop, laying the ball up. I see a lot of people with their chest out, right? I see a lot of people talking about what they do. They can't stop talking about what they're doing in our community. I'm out here. I do this. I do that. I do this. I do that. It's not working. And it's not a personal indictment on you. It's not working. When you see things like this happen, it's a wake-up call for all of us, no matter what we are doing, to say, man, I got to figure out how to do more. I got to figure out how to get with the right people. So, man, some change can really come. Once again, I'm not, and there were several other murders, but I just feel a certain kind of way when an 82-year-old is murdered, sitting on their porch with their family, right? And this is not, people say, with thugs and gangs and that. No, this is mental health. This is pressure busting pipes. This is the absolute bottom of the barrel living, that we're kind of dealing with, Milwaukee, manifesting itself in behavior with someone who ain't really necessarily equipped to take it, right? Um, when will we get an established, comprehensive plan for mental health? Since we have a black county supervisor and a black mayor, right? Wouldn't it be such a show of solidarity if the city and the county could say, hey, man, let's do something about mental health? We got way too many mentally ill people out here roaming the streets with no kind of help or aid or assistance, right? You want to talk about what you're doing? Let's get into that, right? Let's get into some real shit. I understand the press ops, the photo ops, being known, being able to go to the club and get your name called out, going to the Bucks game, getting put on the jumbotron. That's some fly shit, right? It's all fly. People know me, right? Anytime I jump on Facebook, I got 15,000 listeners. That's all fly shit. But let's talk about doing something that's going to really fix this broken ass community, man. 82 years old. And another 80-something-year-old lady who's sitting there who survived, right? She's shot multiple times. It's a problem, man. I know I'm on my soapbox, but it's so upsetting for me to see, man. Kamar, when you see shit like this, what's the first thing that comes to your mind, man?
What can we do?
Right.
Like,
Okay.
Questions come to my mind.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Questions come to my mind. What can we do? What would make a motherfucker do something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to try to figure out what's the root, and like, how can we solve this shit? You know what I mean? But and with stuff like this, man, and then we look at the whole community and the different stuff that's going on in the community, you almost have to wonder, like, well, shit, but what can we do? You know what I mean? What can we do?
Yes.
Everybody talk the shit about what they do and all that, like you say. That shit ain't working. And it ain't no shot, it ain't no disrespect, but you know what I mean? We need to figure out what else can we do. You know what I'm saying? How can we how can we utilize the different platforms? How can we utilize each other to the best of our abilities? You know what I mean? For our benefit. Shit, man. Like, what can we do, man? You know what I mean?
Speak to us. Right. But to be able to admit that you don't have the answer is the greatest thing for me, Kamar. Because I didn't need for you to grandstand and talk about how everything you said and what you wanted to do was going to be the solution. I like how you said, what the hell, Kim? What? What can we do?
You know what
Right.
I mean? Hey, it's almost like that show. What you gonna do?
Right. We did that. We did that
You know
show.
what I mean? Like everybody talking this shit. Everybody talking about what they are and who they are and all this and what's going on in the community. What ain't right? It's all fucked up. What you gonna do?
Real, you see this 82-year-old, a multiple 80-year-old adult shot. And
Yeah.
this is supposedly a case of mental illness. This brother killed himself when once pursued by law enforcement officers. What is this saying? What does this say to you? Because I know, like, you look at things a little bit different from myself and a little bit differently from Kamar. So when you see this, what comes to mind? I know you don't pay attention to the media, but you had to know about this.
I seen it in the People's News Network. So I read it, and then I seen another video of it where the lady it was saying like a war veteran, and she was saying because she was in the war, she knew
Play
Clay
dead.
dead.
Yeah.
I think I remember reading it was saying all four of them were on the porch chilling together, right? Before it
Right.
broke bad.
Even
So
his sister was there. The alleged shooter sister was sitting on the porch as well.
man, see, I didn't know that was the same incident where the cop got shot on what was that, Atkinson?
I believe it was on Keith. I
Oh,
believe it was
Keith.
maybe. I don't know where the cop was shot at. I know this happened in the over
See,
in
I didn't know that was the same incident. But yeah, man, like I always say, mental health. But the sad thing about that is like that old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It's like all we can do is, like Andre 3000 said, I tell you how it is, then I tell you how it could be. You know, you tell them how fucked up we is, tell them how we, where we can be, and then do what you can to just show people how you getting there. I mean, ultimately, there's nothing we could do about the next person. All we can do is handle ourselves and hope that we handle ourselves well enough that it inspires somebody else and show them that it can be done. Because unfortunately, don't nothing change until folk get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And sometimes before they get to that point, they've brought calamity to themselves and the people that deal with them.
If you live in Milwaukee and you ain't sick and tired of being sick and tired by now, ain't nothing going. You can't be motivated.
Right.
You are constipated. Yeah, listen, I've been here my whole life, right? Except for a few years of when I went off to school, and I've seen this city good, bad, and ugly. And believe me, it's been ugly for a very long time. I just had this conversation. Shout out to Ewalk. Nothing really is new in Milwaukee right now. It's just more cameras.
Right.
I can honestly tell you, like, we talking about these Kia boys and we talking about these youngsters stealing cars. Let me tell you something. In the 90s, we discovered a thing called a steering column. 80s, 90s. We discovered a thing called a steering column, and we figured out that if you get a screwdriver and you just peel that back a little bit, it exposes a mechanism that you can just start the car right up. Guess what? Every GM model in this city was at danger. People was putting collars, canes, clubs on their cars, kill switches, because youngsters were stealing cars. And my partners was running when the police got behind them. They wasn't pulling over. High speed. With it, but you didn't have a camera everywhere. You didn't have Twitter. You didn't have, we wasn't on I was about to say Face Jam, show you how old I am.
Hey, Kev, you know what?
But it was happening.
The difference is we wasn't putting so many lives in jeopardy like they doing too. Like, you know what I mean? We would steal a car and ride around the city and then park that motherfucker somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But like these motherfuckers get stealing these cars, running red lights, flying through red lights, not giving a fuck about nobody else's life. Shit, we was just trying to ride around and, you know what I mean? I ain't minimizing what we was doing, you know what I'm saying? Because that was fucked up too. We was still interfering with other people's lives also. But I'm just saying, like, motherfuckers wasn't dying like they is with these stolen cars.
Well, the only reason I have to disagree is because my partners was about the high speed. It was about flying. We wasn't driving a stolen car. You ever heard the term "drive it like you stole it"? Like, that's what the moral of in our neighborhood. That's what it was. Yeah, because we go down to Cornell Yeah,
I ain't
cats that
never
go down
heard
to
that.
Cornell and just that's what they going down there. Rail laughing because he know what I'm talking about. You go down to
They
Cornell,
made songs about it,
Green
driving like
Bay.
it's stolen.
Right, when you turn off Green Bay, you going 90. This is Cornell, baby. It's time to stretch out. Like my point is, I've seen the stupidity before, and I've seen it for a very long time. And I do get what you're saying, Kamar, because the frequency of it is up now, right? Because
Yeah, that's
it
what
was
I'm saying. You
there was
know what I
only a
mean?
few of us who was really that wild then. Now it's
Yeah,
like more of the norm. So I
everybody.
get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Because people looked at us like you motherfuckers crazy.
And
Shout out to Alicia
I
Mullins.
would imagine if it was more of us that was stealing cars and shit, it probably would be up too.
Shout out to Alicia Mullins, man, my former co-worker with the Housing Authority, doing big things. We got to get her on here to talk about her organization, what she's doing for Black women in the city. No doubt, Kamar. Listen. I guess my whole point was a lot of us want to kind of make our dirt um, less impactful than the dirt that they're doing now. So you
Oh
lose
no, I ain't trying to
understanding.
say that, but
So
I'm just saying.
you got a lot of cats our age who say, man, these young cats, you can't talk to them because they do this and they do that and they do this. And that's the way they approach them, as opposed to me saying that's so familiar for me. So let me tell you how this ends, young brother. What you doing is what you doing. That's fine. That's cool. Everything involved, that's cool. But let me tell you how it ends. Let me tell you about 10 years from now, 15, 20 years from now, when so and 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 so is gone. He locked up, he dead. He dead, he dead, he dead. He locked up, he dead. I can pull out a picture, an old photograph from like 1992, an old Polaroid from a teen club we was at. And I don't know, 3-4 of the dudes on the picture ain't here no more. 2 or 3 of the dudes on the picture did some bits, right? Long bits. And 2 or 3 of the dudes on the picture is really struggling to this day because of some of the decisions we made back then. So that's the way I come at youth. Like, I hear what you're saying. It's all right now, all the shit I get it. I'm here to tell you how it ends. And unless you kind of change up the way you moving, you ain't gonna be one of the ones that get to tell a story like me 25 years later. You're gonna be the ones getting talked about. Like, yeah, that was the homie. I love that nigga. That was my guy. But boom. So lot going down in the city, man. Lot going down in the city. And keep in mind when you listen to the show, we always say this. When anybody on this show says anything, we say you right. And when anybody on the show says anything, we say you wrong. Because we all right and we all wrong, right? So I don't give a fuck how highly you think of yourself and how intellectual and spiritual and all this kind of shit. I'm enlightened. Your ass don't know what you talking about either in some regards. And sometimes hit that number 262-202-5131. It's Outlaw Radio live from the basement. Shout out to the neighborhood 38th annual EBA picnic went down without a flaw. Beautiful event. Got footage coming in a documentary that I'm working on regarding the brother Eric Adway. Beautiful Ghetto hollered at me. I wasn't able to get there because of some extenuating circumstances, but I talked with Ghetto. Beautiful footage. We got that coming up. That's something that a celebration for that brother. Moving into positive things. Then there was a hit and run downtown, I guess, where a young man who's like a promising fighter or whatever was killed by someone. They got the description of the truck all in the news. So if you know who did it, all right. And some people say, well, why would I? It depends. How much does that bag go up for a report, right? Like, so it's $25,000 for any information. It's a lot of motherfuckers that ain't gonna hold water once they put $25,000 on your head. And if I don't really know you like that, I might be one of them. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Hey, kid, you a snitch. Whatever. Give me my check. That little brother is dead. Fuck you. Shout out to Sharon Evans. How you doing, my sister? She said, what's going on, brother? Hey, y'all share the
What's
show,
happening?
man. Share the show. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the followers up, man. Go to our YouTube page. The numbers are paltry at best, partially because of me. I got to invest in YouTube a little bit more. Y'all see the Cash App. Y'all want to get some apparel. Y'all want to get some of Rail's books. Y'all want to get some of Kamar's Nature Nature goodiness. Y'all know how to do it, man. Reach out and touch somebody, man. But so a lot going on in the city, man. I want to shout out to people who support the show though, because y'all really do show. Because sometimes I'll be like, man, I'm gonna go on. I just want to, because it's like me and Rail and Kamar being on the phone sometimes, like on the three-way, just chopping it up. So I forget about the show aspect and be like, let me call up my homeboys. and people show a lot of love when we do those shows, and I see comments and all that. I be like, okay, that kind of make it worthwhile. So shout out to you if you support the show. And to all you haters, I don't know. I guess the best way to address you would be to say like "fuck you," right? I don't know. Is that like the nicest way that I can say it? Like if you watching the show, like man, I don't like this shit, and they don't know what they tell me. Thanks for the listening, but fuck you, right? You can call in. I'll tell you to your face. Numbers right there, or hit the Cash App, man. You can pay me to go away. But yeah, man. What you brothers get into this weekend? I know it's been all doom and gloom. Come on, what was your weekend like? Let's talk about because I know you got some positivity to put in here. Let's let some
Friday
sunshine.
night, Friday night, I had an event with a lady with a sister named Exania. We're gonna get her on the show. She's doing a lot of different stuff in the community too, as far as helping black businesses and everything. But she worked with the Black Chamber of Commerce here in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And I did an event with her down on the second. I'm somewhat on the south side, but it's downtown. You know that area I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, right there. It was a nice little black-owned spot over there. It was a bar, and it was dope, man. You know what I mean? A lot of good connects I made in there that night. You know what I'm saying? And I got to talk to you also, Real.
For sure.
Because she want to get somebody who be in the CBD, and I told her I got somebody.
Okay, yeah.
We got to get you ready because she got a bunch of events coming up.
Okay, for sure.
And you know what I'm saying? And I told her, like I said, we finna plug her in with Outlaw Radio and all that, and yeah, we gonna get this thing popping.
No doubt. Mr. Hefner, what was your weekend like, man?
It was cool, man. Just re-upped on product. Like I said, I'm about to start coming back with my health and beauty line, the CBD, because Facebook be hating. I can't post my smokables on here because they always say I'm trying to sell regulated products and put me in Facebook jail. So I'm about to start slapping the infused lotions, body washes, foot soaks, and powders again. So I just re-upped on that, got my packaging. Now I just got to get my labels printed, and then I'll be ready to crack. But besides that, ran off some missionaries on Saturday. I pulled up. They had my lady on the porch trying to convert her. You know, so when I stepped up, I let her go in the house and tend to the kids while I finished the conversation. And you know, that by the end of it, they were like, "Well, I see we're not going to change your mind, and you're not going to change ours." I'm like, "Man, we ain't got to change each other's mind. We can just have a discussion. I don't debate anymore. My goal ain't to sway you. My goal is just to discuss our beliefs." And you know, when I tell, because they kept asking me why I, wouldn't get down with that life no more. And every time I tell them, I brought them facts and researchable material, and they had to run away before they faith gets shook.
Shout out to Sharon Evans. She said she likes the chop it up flow of the show. Appreciate you, my sister.
That's
We
dope.
try to keep it as natural as possible, man. Ain't nobody putting on no airs. We don't do rehearsals. None of that shit. That's why I always love doing my show live as opposed to edited shows, because I like the freshness of the moment, right? Like what were you feeling at that moment? But yeah, man, I'm glad you brothers. Look, I had my son, he's playing football, high school football. He got his real first taste of Friday Night Lights. He got him got his little interception, and amazing.
Okay, yeah.
He had the little girls hollering his name when he came out the locker room. So it felt good to see it. He come
That's
out.
my boy.
Right. My boy. Little dude with a big heart, you know what I'm saying? Probably the smallest dude on the field, but out there, But my son's been at this for a very long time, so he's a little cerebral.
He know what he's doing out there.
Yeah, he moves. He's this shit. I gotta watch out. Okay, that's a big old dude. No, not me. You won't get me, son. So, I just keep you stay in prayer mode, man, because I gotta play the state champs this week, the defending state champs, and trying to teach him, man, how to throw that rock and get down, right? You shoot and you duck, right? You don't stand straight up in combat. So, but yeah, man, it was a good thing, man. Y'all know I was dealing with this back thing, man, and my shit started coming back. I started feeling like, okay, I move again, and
Okay.
I got to get out the house, man. My back was messed up. I was in the crib. I was like, man, I think I'm like Superman. Like I think the sunlight gives me strength. You know, there's something to be
It
said about
does.
people and that vitamin D, no
It does. You ain't
pause.
no vampire,
I mean,
nigga. You the
pause.
hottest.
I'm saying vitamin D, pause. Let me pause. Let me pause. Vitamin D.
You don't have to pause for vitamin D, man.
That you gotta say pause after that too, though. You gotta say pause after that.
This
Like
a
you
hey,
gotta pause for vitamin
this
D.
is an intellectual show, right? No, listen, we somewhat intellectual. You know what I'm saying?
It's always a motherfucker out there listening talking about, oh, they on vitamin D on here, y'all. Like because that's the first thing they say about black men today. No matter what, no matter how you stand, no matter he gay, right? Like it's like every black man is like secretly gay. I don't know where this shit comes from, but yeah, man.
Man.
The sun did me some justice, man. And like I said, I'm on my plan, trying to make sure I'm steering clear of certain things, and so it was cool, man. It was cool.
For
Um,
sure, for sure.
but I kept noticing a trend, right? I noticed a trend, and this has been something that's been going on. It's kind of been going on. Like I know I love when Liz Brown used to be on the show, and she used to get mad. She used to say, "They playing in our face. They playing in our face. You ain't gonna play in my face, right?" And I used to laugh at that. I'm like, playing in her face. But I get it now. This attempt to twist the narrative, to twist the truth, to disguise the reality. Like I say, teach the truth, right? There's an attempt to not inform people of what's happened. And we can label this and center this around critical race theory all we want. But the reality of it is it's coming in many different forms. I seen, like, what is this? Manitowoc today. They're debating on how we talk about things that are controversial in school. I was watching, I just so happened to be sitting by while my wife was watching a documentary on Black Wall Street last night. And in the aftermath of what happened in Oklahoma, in Tulsa, there was kind of like a whitewashing of the media, in which it wasn't mentioned for a long time. It wasn't made common. It wasn't made common knowledge, to the point where schools in the city didn't teach it to kids growing up in the city. And there's a movement. I think I heard the governor say, "Well, we tried. They've passed these laws already that prevent teachers from teaching anything in school." And we talked about this before, that would supposedly make kids feel victimized, or make kids feel like they're victimizers, right? And there was this thing about, we don't want white kids to feel bad about, maybe y'all shouldn't have did the shit y'all did, right? So there's a movement, even here in Wisconsin. They want to get rid of Black history in the schools. They want to get to the point where there's this kind of whitewashed, watered down, convoluted curriculum that our kids kind of be given in the schools. I call it the indoctrination process, because they were able to pull this off on my generation, because I went to elementary school. I went to public school in the 80s and the 90s. And we got to the point where finally Black history had become a part of what we did, or what we were taught. They would show you Eyes on the Prize. There was about a chapter in which you learned about Benjamin Banneker, and you learned about all the non-threatening Negroes. You didn't learn about Nat Turner. You heard
Right.
little about Malcolm.
Hey,
You
we
didn't
thought
know,
that was the shit when we learned about Nat Turner.
right? Well, they didn't tell us about Marcus Garvey or any of, like, so it was about the nice Negroes that they taught you about. Boy, that George Washington Carver did wonders with a peanut. And he did, right? He did. But I've kind of run across some information since then, and I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know it to be factual, but I've seen it in several different sources that there's a theory that his slave master neutered him early in life, right? Like, so, yeah. So you take a Benjamin Banneker, you take a Jackie Robinson, and that's not a knock on Jackie, because or any of these individuals, but I'm saying affable Negroes and friendly Negroes and non-threatening Negroes, teach you about them, right? We're not going to teach you about the Black people who were standing up against injustice and losing their lives, or losing whatever. I'm gonna teach you about them, right? So it looks like all we've been doing the whole time we've been here is throwing our hands up, saying, "Oh, okay, what y'all want us to do? Okay, we'll do it, we'll do it." It makes us look cowardly. It makes us look super passive. It makes us look like what Kanye said. It was a choice. You get this kind of shit after with the way history. Well, slavery must have been a choice. Those people were happy to be out of hot ass Africa and have a job in good old America, right? This is the kind of bullshit that you want to twist this into. So I'm upset about it because I think there's not enough voices to speak and counter this to say, teach the motherfucking truth. See, you don't got to take sides if you're telling the truth. Here's exactly what it is. If a little kid comes home and says, Mom, did they beat, shoot, and kill a 14-year-old black kid in Mississippi because they said he whistled at a white woman? And she says, yes, honey, that happened. And he says, oh my God, Mom, we were terrible then. It's the absolute truth. White people were terrible. A lot of them still are. Right? So why do I need to now lie and cover up your dirt so your kids won't feel a certain kind of way? I don't feel like I need to do that. Like I said, tell the truth. Right? Let me get my phone system together. Ewok said he trying to call. I didn't have my I didn't have my doohickey. Let me see if I can get this popping. But I'm saying, tell the truth. Stop with the lies. I don't care if white people, right? What do y'all think about this? Because I feel like there's not enough noise being made. Like, nah, fuck that. Why teach history for what it was? I'm just trying to get the phone. Y'all go ahead.
You all good. I mean, it just is what it is, man. I mean, that's since the beginning of time, motherfuckers try to suppress the truth that make them be viewed for what they are. You know, there's a lot of grandparents still alive that will have to answer, you know, to too many questions if their grandchildren and great grandchildren saw, you know, just the obscenities and things that they did. I mean, like even with the Nat Turner shit, you know, they tried to make Africans seem like cannibals and thing. When you watch Bugs Bunny, it was the Africans putting them in the pots with the bone through their nose and shit like that. But in actual history, only cannibalism you could damn near find in history is white people eating folks. Even Nat Turner, they boiled him down and was eating them, hoping to get some of his powers, you know, and shit like that. They used to dig up mummies and grind
our
them up.
ancestors had fruits and vegetables and shit growing out the grounds and the trees and everything. Food was in abundance, man. Everything was in abundance for our ancestors. Them people was in the cave somewhere. That shit don't grow in the cave, so they had to do whatever the fuck they had to do, and they was there for millions of years, probably. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So they gotta adapt, and that type of mentality don't leave too soon. That's embedded in DNA, just like peace is embedded in our DNA. That's why we so inviting. That's why we so accepting of people when they do bullshit to us, because this peace, this shit is embedded in our DNA.
Right, and they got to keep that story going that we were savages and ignorant, and them converting us to Christianity was the best. You know, there's still black, like even the dude that showed up on my porch the other day. I'm like, bruh, you know what I'm saying? It's like, do you realize, man, that the only reason that you are Christian right now is because they had to make you subservient and don't fight back? Like, I'm like, that's the reality of it, man. And a lot of black people still think that slavery was God's righteous judgment to help us get off that path of demonic worshiping of ancestors and shit. Bullshit. So, I mean, they can't teach the real shit because it won't just open up white people's eyes. It'll open up everybody's eyes and reveal them for how they really are.
Well, I tell you what, you're going to tell me I can't teach it in school, right? You're going to tell me, don't tell them that. Don't tell the kids that. Don't you motherfuckers make not a nair motherfucking goddamn slave movie. Don't make another one. And don't tell me that, somebody's going to win an Academy Award, but I don't give a fuck. Don't make nair another slave movie. Don't make another World War II movie where a white man saves the day. Oh, midway. He's gonna fly his airplane that day. Bill Kowalski down 95 fighter planes. He's still the highest ranking pilot in the Navy history today. I don't want to hear that shit either. Right? Don't tell me I can't talk about it and then make a lopsided ass movie about it. Right? I just think black people need to make more noise about it. Especially in a system in a city like Milwaukee. We're talking about MPS. How in the hell you not gonna teach black history in MPS? Why? How can you twist it? To me, the story is what it is. Just because I don't tell a kid, hey, the reality of it is, little white boy, your forefathers owned people. They engaged in chattel slavery. They engaged in Jim Crowism in the South. Even all the way up in as far north as Indiana, they used to hang black people, and the whole town would come out like it was a state fair. And they would all sit around and eat hot dogs and pop fireworks while three innocent or three whatever you call them black men were chained to a tree burning. And they looked at the corpse and they laughed and they took pictures and they made postcards. That's the truth.
The original picnic.
That's what
it was.
What happened?
Picnic.
Now, once again, if that white person runs home and says, "Mom, is this what our people really did?" And she says, "Yes, honey." It is what it is, right? It is what it is. So I'm just saying I want them to teach the truth, and I don't want you to, don't try to.
Hey, I was
for white folks' sake.
Hey, I was talking to a white guy the other day, you know what I mean? And I was telling him, I said, man, the thing is, it's like just like they trying to normalize the whole LGBTQ shit, and that, you know what I mean? And this Me Too shit, they just try to normalize it. Well, we need to normalize these conversations. You know what I mean? We need to normalize talking about this shit so motherfuckers quit feeling so fucked up, could get out their skin about it, because the shit happened.
Right.
Until we can accept, I'm at my bag, but until we can accept, you know what I mean, what the fuck happened, we ain't gonna be able to fix shit.
I just want you to tell the truth.
Yeah.
I don't all of the I'm gonna water this down for the sake of this person or that person, or no, I'm not here to make you feel comfortable. I'm here to tell the truth. Ewok, I finally got you on. What's popping with you, man?
Nah, shit, man. I got this Irish boy sitting right next to me right now, man. You know what I'm saying? So, we sitting here debating about stuff right now. And he kind of scared to grab the phone. I want him to come grab the phone and shit, because there's a small delay and shit. I told him he can't listen to himself talking while we talking this shit because there's a delay. But I want him to come give his opinion about something and shit real quick. You know what I'm saying? If you allow me.
You know what? As long as he know white people rules on Outlaw Radio, he's good. I trust you.
Yeah, he know the rules, man. And you you fair and square too. So I told him already. Come on, yeah, he know the rules, man. You fair and square too. So I told him already.
Ewok got to turn his device down. I can hear that echo.
Yeah, you got to get away from the. Don't look at it. It's hard to say what he say. Everybody else saying it. You can hear it.
Go ahead, man. What's going on? What's your name? First of all, what's your name?
What's going on, man? My name's Kevin, man. I'm Ewok's neighbor. We're good friends.
Okay, Peace. Kevin, I'm Kevin.
Nice meeting you, man.
So what's going on, man? What you got? This is my crew. Kamar said peace. Rail said peace. What's going on? What you got to add to the convo?
We was just over here discussing and listening to y'all talk and whatnot, and we were bringing it back about how you were talking about history and it was being taught, and and like you said, I'm a white boy over here and Irish and whatnot, but I was taught history and Black history, went through Black History Month, and I learned all about everybody and everything that had gone through all that, but I have never once lived through what my ancestor had been through. I only learned through history class. But I feel, in a sense, that putting a color or a statue on history is a negative outlook. And that's what they're talking about, bringing that negativity towards, say, in Black history with slavery, and a white kid learning about that and they make them feel inferior because of what had happened, and they were never involved in it.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Oh yeah,
You did say you were Irish, correct?
yeah.
Okay, so when I say
We were
white,
slaves too.
well, that's where I'm going. When I say white, I'm talking about Europeans. I'm talking about Europeans because we know Irish people at one point were treated just like black people in this country, right? We know that
Right.
Italian people and Irish people once did the whole race bang bang thing on each other, right? Race bang, I
Right.
said. We do know that Irish people to this day, when we talk about Irish people and Scottish people, a lot of Europeans consider them less than. They did occupy your lands, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is correct.
Okay, and they occupied your lands up until what, the 60s, 70s? When did the IRA finally really just bust free? They blew up enough British vehicles to say, okay, y'all, we gonna leave y'all alone. What was that, the 80s, early 80s?
It
Yeah.
might have been the '80s, but I don't think they ever really relinquished anything off them. You know, I still kind of think they walk around, you know, under the thumb in that sense it is over there anyway.
Okay, so I guess my point to you is first of all, when you say white, I wouldn't necessarily consider you white. I would consider you Irish. Because that's where you're from, that's where your people are from. So when we talk about white people, we talk about English, Europeans, Germans, these high-minded, highbrow white people who have dictated policy and built
Oh,
systems through conquering. The Irish ain't conquered nobody, right? The Irish ain't, you know, they're not considered that high in terms of social position, right? So as an Irish
right.
person, I can see how you went to an all-black school. I can see how you was taught black history, right? I can see how they did. Yeah, let his ass go. He was so
Right.
Irish,
Right.
right? Right. So in actuality, you should be agreeing with me because the one thing that you should want everybody to know, in particular Irish children, is how you all were treated because of you being Irish. You don't want your babies to ever forget what happened to Irish people. There's a struggle with you and England that should be talked about at great lengths.
How they killed Braveheart.
To know that.
Here was my point. Here was my point where I was trying to go with that is that we don't have when it came to learning about how the Irish went through that and slavery and came over here and all throughout the colonies and when we started establishing cities and even Chicago and cities like that. You know, we have people of our genre or race buried, you know, amongst places and never to be heard of again. But you know what? In school, the conflict in my mind is the fact that we have to displace Black History Month aside from all the rest of history and put a label on it like that instead of just calling it history and letting the kids learn about what had happened in life as history goes instead of somebody being one race and feeling objectified because of what had happened and what somebody's ancestors had done. When the world we live in now, you go to school and kids are sensitive to these kids, these different things, and they don't want to feel like.
Once
Well,
again,
you know, what about how our kids? What about how our kids and how we still feel shit because of that? You know what I mean? We go through shit today because of slavery. Still, you know, because of this whole white supremacy demonstration, black folks still dealing with shit. We still being made fit. They still making us feel funny when we go in stores. They still making us feel funny when we go to certain schools. They still making us feel funny too. Everybody's feeling funny.
right. So why
Let's talk
protect the
about
white
this
kid?
shit and get it out in the open so everybody can get over this shit.
I can totally see how that is still a thing, and I see how, you know. But I also understand there's certain facets of that, and everywhere you live in our country to this day. If and I tried to tell Ernest this before, when I was growing up, and I was going out there, and I go into a Black community, I had to feel scared. I had to worry about this, that, the other. And then when I wanted to go up to the school or the park, I was a white boy in the wrong neighborhood,
Absolutely.
and I got objectified because of that.
Absolutely.
And who you think started all that shit?
Well, I want to go back to this.
Hey, who you think started all that shit?
I want to go
Those
back.
same white people who we talking about. It wouldn't be no race issues if they'd have never started that shit. So why can't we talk it? So what? They gonna feel uncomfortable. They started this shit.
Right.
I want to go back to this though. You talked about the need for it to be Black history. White people made it that way. because they refuse to allow us to learn about our history.
Fuck
You
them
do
racist
realize
motherfuckers.
you
I ain't
you
talking about
do.
all white people, just the racist motherfuckers.
Well, I'm talking about literacy. At one point, literacy for a black person to be
Well,
literate in this country was illegal.
I guess
Hold on. At one point, for a black man to be literate was a crime. So you couldn't read. They didn't want us to know anything about ourselves. They made
right.
efforts to write history books that excluded us. Now, had they written American history and it talked about all of our contributions and the roles that we played in the development and the founding of this country, we wouldn't say there's a need for black history. White people made it that way. Now, what I will say is, as an Irish person, you got to look at it like this, because they didn't teach y'all about y'all shit either. They taught y'all about St. Patrick's Day. That's all we ever learned about Irish people is St. Patrick's Day. We didn't get to. They didn't talk about the Irish
and the
anything.
potato famine, the
And the
great
potato
potato
famine.
famine.
Okay, right. So you all are disrespected as us, but because you have a lack of melanin, right now you have been grandfathered in. See, Polish people once disrespected in this country by Europeans. Jewish people once disrespected by Europeans in this country. Irish people, Scottish people, all of them were Italian people. All of them were looked up on as less than. They might as well have been niggas, right? Ellis Island was full of what they termed as rejects. Oh Lord, we got to take these rejects. You all lived in slums before we did. We was down south living clean. Y'all was in the slums of New York, living savage.
Now,
so I would say, my point is, I would say, instead of saying, well, why we got to focus on the negative or why we got to make anybody feel guilty, let's just tell history for what it was. Let's just tell the truth. Let's talk about what happened to Irish people, Polish people, black people, Italian
exactly
people.
the point I was trying to make. Because slavery is just a word, not defining a black man. Slavery is a word that defines everybody that's been held under their will to do things for somebody else, you know.
I got a call cap on you.
It's been going on, you know, and it still goes on. You got children's slavery in China and Mexico and everything else. You got slavery of all facets.
It was hardly like ours.
The thing is, when as an American person and as a white Irishman, when I think of slavery and how I was taught about it, as soon as I think of slavery, I think of what had happened to the black man. They don't teach the emphasis of slavery and how it's affected every culture in the world.
Well, see, once again, you talking about slavery. We talk about chattel slavery. We talk about antebellum slavery. We talk about black slavery. And when you say that about the rest of the world, when you start talking about it with a broad stroke, you're leaving out the middle passage. You're leaving out the Jim Crowism. You're leaving out what's happened to us in this country. And I like how you even started. Now you've even identifying yourself as a white Irishman. I'm a white Irishman, right? So you're indoctrinated. Your people now.
Well, that's how this country has defined me as. When I have to file out a piece of paper and ask for an ethnicity, Caucasian, this, that, the other, all we have is Caucasian. There ain't no Irish, man. You know, there's no definitive process to put me as who I am.
They have an other. They have an other box where you can check other and put Irish.
See, I think the issue is this. The reason we had to have Black history, first off, is because our history wasn't told. So we had to say, hey, we did some shit too. We ain't just been slaves. So that's the whole thing about Black history. But whenever you start speaking on history,
an American though, but history goes on before America was ever even established, and so was slavery.
Exactly.
And learned it as an American and as an American citizen to know about slavery and how you reflect on that. It should not emphasize just in one direction. It should be mutual.
Well, unfortunately,
you know what? Everybody's history should be
unfortunately taught. Slavery was a big part of the history that we were taught because, and I agree with you, we should be taught history prior to slavery, but unfortunately, they did everything in their power to erase that. So, I mean, if we could go before history, we would, where we were astrologers, astronomers, doctors, architects, teachers, shit like that. But unfortunately, that was wiped away, and our history was.
And then when you do go farther back and start learning some truths, they start calling you anti-Semitic and shit.
Right.
Because let me tell you something. Now, let me tell you something, man. Until you walk in our shoes and have to deal with the shit we deal with, you will never understand the slavery. Because, see, we still dealing with that shit right now. You're not.
That is true.
Even with history, though.
But you're not American. You're Irish. I'm American.
Whenever you talk about history, you're going to come across issues that, I mean, let's just be real. When you start bringing up any history,
you're born in Detroit.
You can't help come across how European, Western, colonial people fuck shit up. Whether you talk about black people in America, whether you talk about Chinese history of them in California building railroads and having to deal with all kind of fucked up laws about not having long braids. And, you know, that's the thing. Whenever you talk about history, period, if you go far enough back, you're always going to come across where European colonizers was on some fuck ass shit. No matter, I mean, even if we talk about Japanese, because you got to understand, other races in this country, they have different. Like when I go to my kids' school, they got a predominantly, well, we on the northwest side, so you know it's just as many Hmong over here as it is black folk. So they have a Hmong American History Month. Nobody gets mad at the Pacific, right? But nobody get mad at other people. They got a whole LGBT History Month. So nobody gets mad at any other history month until it's Black history and they're faced to look in that mirror of some shit that transpired. Not just with Black people, like he said, because honestly, Caucasians were bad to themselves first.
Yep.
They perfected that shit on themselves, and then like locusts, they spread.
That's what people were taught, and it's learned behavior by the people who taught them. And those people end up growing up to believe that thing, and that's how it's supposed to be in their mind. So they go on learning and behaving that way to others. We are the people of the ones to make the change, you know, and to realize that and make that difference in the life.
Right, but before you can change, you have to realize where it went left and try to understand why it went left so that we could address this and not allow it to go left again. Like I said, it isn't about making the people feel bad. It's about telling the truth. And if the truth makes you feel bad, then be angry enough to try to do something to fix it, not suppress it.
I always thought they said if the purse fits by a matching pair of shoes, right, or the shoes fit by a matching purse, it is what it is. But Kevin, what I was trying to say to you is, black people are the only true Americans. We're the only race created by this country. So if you were born in Detroit, you was born into this is our country. So welcome to our country. We built this country, and we did it through free labor, right? Nobody's put in more work. Sweat equity.
I like that you said our country because I feel a part of that. When you say our, I feel like you meant me as well.
No, I mean black people. Welcome to our country. Like you live in our country. This America is ours. It belongs to black people. The United States of America. We're the only.
About the Indian?
Well, but it wasn't
the
United States of America when they had it. Who knows what it was called? They didn't call it that. They didn't build the United States of America. As a matter of fact, they couldn't work like we worked. They wasn't put in the fields like we were put in because they couldn't take what we could take. So when it comes to establishing the United States of America, this is our country, right? I ain't talking about pre-USA. I ain't talking about when Native Americans killed buffalo. It was theirs then. But once they brought slaves over here and stripped us of each and everything we ever knew, our families, our heritage, our knowledge of where we came from or anything, then we became a product of this country. This country created us. So this is our country. This is why they owe us reparations. This is why they owe us apology, really, which I don't really want. Just give me the check. But this is our country. So if you're Irish, your family's from Ireland. If you're German, your family's from Germany. If you're Polish, your family's from Poland. I'm black. My family is from Mississippi. So this is our country. I just want you. So welcome.
You don't have no Polish, no Irish, no other ethnicity up in your family.
Not voluntarily. Not voluntarily.
It doesn't matter if it's voluntarily.
No, it does. It does
because that's what has made you up.
No, it does matter if it's voluntarily because if it was taken once upon a time and there's a few light-skinned and family members,
you do not have
fine.
Control of who creates you.
No, once again, if the
that
slave,
is the love of two other
just
people
listen for a second,
united together and made
that's cool, Kumar. If
Kevin versus
What?
Hey, you ain't gonna win. The Kevin next to me ain't gonna win. This Ewok right here, right now. This Kevin ain't gonna win because it's your show and shit.
Well, no. I mean, there's some white people. We got white listeners.
I support everything.
But you know what? Hey,
I support everybody's beliefs. You know,
like he tries his best. You know what I'm saying? Hey, dig this. He tries his best. Believe me, he got a good heart. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Hey, Kev, for real.
I did not grow up a black man, so I can't.
Right. He tries his best, but you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it seems like he's making excuses and shit, but sometimes he just don't know. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Well, I mean, if you white, be white. Enjoy it. If you're Irish, Polish, enjoy that shit. If I was white, I would never look back. If I was European, I would never.
The same life old Ewok is. We live on one side of the street each, and we sitting here having a beer together, talking shit right now.
Yeah, Martin Luther King is smiling down on y'all from heaven. This is what he dreamed about.
Yeah, leave him alone, man. Shit, he ain't ready, man. You know, hey,
no.
Hey, I'm glad you gave him a chance to say what he had to say, man. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I appreciate it.
For having me on, man. And I was not trying to be in no disrespect at all. I was just hearing what was going on. And I wanted to take part in the conversation because sometimes everything gets said one way, and there's so much that can overwhelm thoughts in a certain direction that you always got to see an opposing outlook on things. And and if a person's smart, they're going to accept things and listen. And that's what I wanted to do with you guys. Say what I said, hear what you guys said, and I appreciate that.
No problem.
Okay,
but the craziest part is almost every white person we've ever had on the show said exactly what he said. They all
really?
They all say the same thing.
Yeah, they all got the same. They all got the same vibe and shit. You know,
well,
critical race theory. Race theory is nothing except true.
Well, no, because they're gonna start off. They're gonna start off by saying black people weren't the only slaves. There was slavery before America. They're gonna start off with that. Well, you know that one's coming.
It wasn't what I started off with. That the only.
He still want to talk. I'm gonna give it back to him, man. Here, let him talk. Go ahead.
I'm just saying slavery is a word to defining of something that had happened to people, or a person, or an individual, or a culture, or even a race in general, and it's happened to more than just one race or one culture.
Well, let me ask you a question.
It wasn't none as egregious as.
Well, hold on. Well, let me ask you a question.
Look what we did to women in the United States.
Let me ask you a question.
They were our slaves.
Kevin, let me ask you a question.
They were the man's slaves.
Kevin, let me ask you a question. You said it's happened. It didn't just happen to one group of people, right? It's happened to everybody, right? That's what you just said, right?
Right.
Who else has it happened to in the United States of America? Nobody. Nobody.
We enslaved everybody.
No, that's not true. That's not true. In the United States of America, the only group of people who've ever been enslaved legally, and I'm not talking about indentured servitude or whatever somebody gonna try to bring up from the original 13 goddamn colonies. I'm saying institutionally, the only group of people who have been enslaved within the United States of America after the Constitution is written and after the Revolutionary War is fought.
So you just forgot about us Irishmen that you acknowledged earlier.
You weren't slaves, though. You weren't slaves.
Constitution.
Never wore chains.
We were slaves to the
Never wore chains.
We were brought over on the bottoms of the boat.
Never wore chains.
We were drug out, and we were forced to do manual labor all across this world and used as slaves.
You were not chained to the boat. You've never worn chains. Irish people have never worn chains.
We was getting on here to escape.
Y'all never shitted on each other for months on hand to get here.
Well, y'all
didn't get raped and pillaged. You know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't get snatched. Y'all history didn't get snatched from y'all. Y'all know who the fuck y'all are. We don't. It's a whole bunch of shit that's going with you. You don't even know where the fuck you digging.
I mean, you're welcome to come on anytime, Kevin. I welcome it. That conversation about race can go on forever, and you got to understand on our show. Right. On our show, we have an operating theme, which is you right and you wrong, right? You right and you wrong.
I know I'm wrong because I don't have that same belief.
Well, no, that ain't why you wrong. You wrong because you're human and we all wrong. But you right too. You right too. Everything you said is right. Everything.
How about get through the part where it ain't a belief first? This shit ain't a belief, it's a reality.
You're right. It was not a belief. It was a reality. It was a reality for
That's
a
why
lot.
we need critical race theory.
You can ask
Because
a
you
lot of
talking
people that were
about,
put
because
in that
it's people
position.
like you that talk
Regardless
about
of
belief,
they
like
didn't
this
have
is
a
just a
choice.
belief or something.
Hold
But
on,
no, this
fellas,
is
fellas.
fact.
Well, let's not talk over each other, all right?
This is what I'm saying.
be
It's people that come on here and talk about this shit was a belief thing or something. Don't talk about it. We don't need to talk. But no, this was a fact. It's not about being believable. We got to talk about this shit so we can get through this shit. They got to admit this shit. They got to do something about this shit. Just like everybody else get reparations and shit. What the fuck did we get?
It's
I
taboo.
agree with everything you just said.
Tell Ewok he can bring you anytime, man. You're welcome anytime.
All right, man. I will. Thanks for having me on, man.
No problem, man. White power. White power.
I said.
Hey, my man, I appreciate you, Kev, man.
No doubt, man. White power. What Vanilla Ice say? Go, white boy, go, white boy, go. Go, white boy, go, white boy, go. Outlaw Radio. Shout out to Kevin, man.
White power.
White power. I try to do it's hard sometimes when you have a conversation about race. It can get heated, it can get emotional, and I didn't want it to go there. I don't want it to go there. And it's three black dudes who all feel a certain kind of way, proud men of color, very entrenched in who we are and where we've come from. So it wasn't a fair fight. So I wasn't, and if Kevin wants to come on with Ewok, because I sent Ewok a link. So if they want to come on one week and just be, on the panel, it's all good, man. Because we have Scott Epicet, who's a white troll, who's always in our chat room, who's always, race baiting and saying, because he's the opposite of Kevin. Like, cause Scott would be like, oh, fuck you hood rats in a hurry, just because he want to see the niggers get in a tizzy, right? I like to see those niggers get in a tizzy. White power. So yeah, man. I really wanted to talk about Shantia Lewis. I don't feel like it's a whole lot that I should say at this point. Sister was convicted. She's gonna do 30 days. Her political career, we'll see how, we know because of Marion Barry, that ain't necessarily the end in the black community. You can come home and put your ass back in, you be on paper and shit. No, I'm on paper, they still voted for me. So, I hope whatever issues this sister had, now I seen that her lawyer said that she's still attempting to pay for her legal fees out of her campaign funds, which is like, huh? I hope that's not right. But I wonder how many other aldermen or alder people that we have downtown could be found on some of these kinds of transgressions. Because we know it's not a whole lot of leadership coming from down there. So I feel like there's a lot of people who are comfortable with getting the money they're getting in their position. So I wonder how many of them do we need to demand audits for everybody's account? But don't stop at the aldermen. Let's go to the county supervisors and the county execs and the senators and the congressmen. Let's audit every goddamn body. Let's audit Washington, D.C. The IRS said, we want to audit you. No, motherfucker, we want to audit you. We want to see your shit. Let us see your paper. But yeah, so that's just I want to talk about Lizzo though, right? Because Ari Spears, comedian, got in trouble. And we've talked about Lizzo on the show before, right? And we live in this era where you got to be careful if you say a certain thing about a certain person and how you say it, and you don't want to, and body shaming and fat shaming and I let me say this first of all. I have no problem with Lizzo at all with what she does. It's just one picture that was particularly disturbing to me, and they said this was her. I don't know that it's her with her legs open and it's like really chafed and really just like nasty looking in between her legs. That was the only photo that I was like, oh, come on now, sis. Like, you can't do that, right? You can't do that. But I want to say this, okay. First of all, some brothers like big women, right? There's nothing wrong with if that's you living in your reality, if that's how you look. I personally, as a big person, exercise more discretion in keeping things under wraps. I'm not walking around with I'm also a guy. I'm not walking around with my ass cheeks out. I ain't got no six pack, so I ain't walking around with my belly hanging out or nothing like that. It's my personal preference. Not ashamed of who I am, understand my size and all of that. But if I do meet a brother who says, nah, man, shit, I'm body positive, I don't give a fuck. I'll take all my clothes off right here. Now, he can't ride in a car like that with his naked ass on my seats. or be at my crib kicking it with me like that. But if that's how he chooses to move at home and he's on the gram, fine. Right? Don't have a problem with what Lizzo said. But everybody jumped out the window on Ari Spears. And I keep saying, y'all remember this brother is a comedian.
Yep.
This brother did skits way more hellish on Mad TV than what he said about her being shaped like the doodoo emoji, or that her being like, and people went. Even Mike Epps came out and said he looked dirty and sick, and I'm like, damn, Mike, you from the hood? Like, I just didn't think the attacks on him was warranted. I get that people want to protect Lizzo. She's obviously a very talented sister. I think in some cases she should exercise discretion. In other cases, I think she should do what she does. But she got the right to do it. And if you don't like it, change the channel. If you don't like it, don't buy the music, don't watch the video. But I just thought it was crazy how people jumped out on Ari Spears when he criticized Lizzo. What did y'all think about this?
I think he should be able to say what he want to say. Everybody should be able to say what they want to say. You know what I mean? If you put yourself out there, of course you're gonna get people to talk about you.
Right.
And then you got talking about a comedian.
Right. We're talking about a comedian.
You know what I mean? Again, here they go trying to censor comedians. Like, you know what I mean? You can tell the comedian what he can say or not say, you know what I mean, to make a motherfucker laugh. There's some people that like them kind of jokes.
Some people thought it was funny. He said she was shaped like the doodoo emoji. I kind of like and then
that was a good one.
Right? I mean, if we ribbon, that's a good one, right? Like, but he was asked about her music, so people said, well, they didn't ask him about her weight, they asked him about her music. But once again, like, this man has the right to say, like, he's getting interviewed, not you.
He's still talking about a comedian.
He's talking about a comedian. Way more people are worried about what he said about her than worried about what they found in Trump's residence in Florida. Right? Like, people are really like, oh, that motherfucker said something about Lizzo. Don't you say nothing about Lizzo. That's like, damn. Like, bro, what you think about it, man? Do you like Lizzo?
I don't give a fuck about it one way or the other. You know, like I can't think of any music of hers. I mean, shit. She got a fan base. Get your money, baby. You know, I don't care how she dressed. I mean, if I don't want to see it, well, first off, I love big women, man. Every part of their body feel like you squeezing ass cheeks. So, you know, you can grab them by their arm or whatever. It feel like an ass cheek. So I'm a fan of them. So, but I mean, I think the reason people got mad at Ari Spears is because I don't think it was a joke. It was just him making the ignorant ass, sharing an ignorant ass opinion at the time. Just like I never thought Ari Spears was funny. And then when I seen him with the whole RZA Islam interview, when he like how people scared to take the COVID shot, but they drink Hennessy and eat chicken. Like he's always been a dumbass nigga to me. So I'm not shocked that he said it. I think the reason people are upset though is because a little further on down that rant he had, he was talking about the hypocrisy of it, of why people always trying to, you know, use body positivity as a way to negate health, and eventually, you know, what about diabetes and shit like that? Now he's saying all this shit when he got the diabetic telltale traits of the black around the eyes, the black ass neck, the black cheeks. So he exhibiting all the traits of insulin resistance, talking about the hypocrisy of somebody else being big. So I think that's why they hopped on Ari Spears' dingy, dirty looking ass, because he looks like the motherfuckers he's trying to have a PSA about. And he wasn't telling a joke. He was just showing a dumbass opinion that people feel like myself feel like he's in no position to speak on that shit, especially when he looked like he about a motherfucking Werther's butterscotch from diabetes.
Okay. I grew up in the hood, and one thing in the hood that happens is you get ribbed on.
Right.
It's just the way I grew up. If you was fat, you was fat. Yeah,
right.
That's every day. Man, shut your fat ass up. Man, you fat motherfucker. You fat.
Right. And you can say what you say. You just got to be ready for motherfuckers to come back. And that's, right. Well, so now they coming back at him, eating his ass up.
But his response was, I'm not surprised by the backlash, and it doesn't offend me. The only
Right.
person he really responded to was Mike Epps when he said, "Look, you need to be worried about people walking out your shows because you ain't funny." They have a back and forth kind of thing going on between them, right? Like so. But other than that,
Neither one of them niggas funny though. Like they
Really?
just
Man, Mike Epps is funny. I think Ari Spears is
that
funny.
nigga retarded. Mike Epps is retarded. Like
Wait.
when he said he rode the little bus, I believe that shit. Like he was never funny to me. He was just
Hold on, Ewok.
uh,
No. I listen. I think they both funny. I just it's styles make fight, right? Like I think you have to like a certain kind of comedy to like Mike Epps, and I think you have to like a certain kind of comedy to like Ari Spears. But there are some people who say they ain't funny, which is okay. I see a lot of comedians that people be cracking up, and I'll be like, that motherfucker ain't even funny. Walk, turn your device down. What's popping with you?
Oh, we gotta step back here a little more. He keep telling me to turn the device down. So, yeah, we good now.
Yes, sir.
Kevin Miller over here Googling shit, man. I hate to change the subject and shit because y'all was on the road real quick, but he been Googling stuff and shit, and he want to talk about what he sees. So
I was curious. Now this is me, Kevin, again. I was curious after our last conversation because I never actually investigated into myself, and I was like, I wonder why we have Black history taught in America, and what is it like? What is the young Black man being taught everywhere else in the world? And I pull it up, and it in the national curriculum currently omits the vast the Black people have made in the UK and the ongoing legacy of Britain Imperial. In reality, Black history is only taught to 10% of schools in the UK.
Can I straighten you out right quick so we can keep talking about Lizzo? I'm gonna tell you something.
Yeah.
You know why it's not? You know why Black history ain't taught to those people? Because they ain't Black. I just told you, Black people are only in America. In the UK, if you are over there and you're of African descent, you are Ghanaian, you are Nigerian, you are from whatever country,
Jamaican.
Jamaican, you're whatever you came there, whatever country of origin you came there from, that's how you're identified. There are only Black people in America. America created Black people because of their choice on how they brought us over here and eradicated our understanding of any and everything.
Right.
We recovered and we reclaimed this title. Not all people in America even like to refer to themselves as Black. I'm one of those who chooses to do so. So when you say, well, I was Googling and I was wondering, what do Black people in other countries learn? Ain't no Black
Right.
people in other countries unless they from America.
Right.
Let me tell you,
America is the only place they call Black people Black.
When you go to when they're taught about history in history class based on American history, Black history is a part of American history.
to us,
They don't put it as Black history
they don't
in
have
other
to.
countries.
They're not Black.
It's American history.
They're not Black.
We are
They
the
don't
only
have to.
country that labels it and has Black History Month.
We the only country that has Black people.
We the only country where they
Yeah,
call
Black
Black people Black. We the only country where they call Black people Black.
This
If
is
you
where
go
Black
anywhere else, they call you Nigerian, Ethiopian, whatever you is.
Okay, thank you.
Is that go the same for all the other ethnicities though?
What
No,
other
just Black
ethnicity?
people.
Like are we only called white people in America or are they called white people everywhere?
No, you only call white people in America because when you from England, you're English.
So
when
we
you're
are
from,
American because we call white people just like you're American because you're called Black people. And we only have white people in America and we only have Black people in America.
y'all ain't,
Everywhere
but y'all
else
ain't
is just
American.
as you said,
but y'all,
Irish,
but y'all not American.
Parisian.
You're guests. You're interlopers. You're invaders. You're immigrants. Black people are American.
Okay,
Everybody else,
your family came from somewhere because
they came from
they
Mississippi.
didn't live here.
They came from Mississippi.
Everyone who is here in America was shipped over here,
I
and
tell you what.
things were developed.
I tell you what.
Just as the Irish came over here and we were
I
developed.
tell you what.
But
you can find
because I'm
it's
white,
easier,
I'm considered a white American.
it's easier for you to find where your family came from in Ireland than it is for me to find where my family came from in Africa. That's why you're Irish and I'm Black. And I don't expect you to understand it. So Google up a little bit more and then call us
I
back.
will.
And then call us back. Google
I
some
was
more.
just curious, man, and I wanted to know, so I started looking it up before
Right.
and he was like, "We call it back." And
Right.
I said, "I gotta know before we call back."
Well, just know
What's
it ain't.
going on?
It's only Black people in America. So Google that because it ain't no Black people nowhere else. So, let me get
Is
back.
that so for white people too, though? Is there only white people in America?
That's
Is
what
that
we.
the only
That's what
place
we
where
call
they're
them.
referred to as white people?
That's what we call them. The true Americans call them white, and we call them other things too. But in England, they call them Englishmen. In Poland, they call them Polish. In Germany, they call them Germans. So yeah, white
But
people
see,
in
I'm not
America.
just Irish. I'm Irish, German. I even got a French Canadian in me.
God
Like
damn.
I'm not any one ethnicity. I just came out white.
No wonder they sent you to an all-black school. God damn, you just all mixed up. That's why your ass ended up in the hood going to school. So welcome to the club. We're gonna let you in now that we know you a mutt like us. Welcome to the club. Call us back.
I love it, man. You guys have a good talk.
Right.
Thanks for
Black
having me.
power.
Right.
Black power.
Black power. He's fucking with you, man. Yeah,
Black
leave him
power.
alone, man.
Ewok, you nigger lover.
Leave him alone, man.
Black power.
Black white supremacy.
He just couldn't take it. I gave his ass a good dose of white power. Oh, my ass.
He said he saw that episode of Dave Chappelle.
Right.
Leave him alone.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
but dig this. You know what? Before you hang up, man, before we get done, hey, dig this, Kev, man. I appreciate you letting dude be on the air, man. And you know what I'm saying? So, and I hope people could listen and learn something from this though, because that's the gap. You did.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's the gap right there, because some people really, you know what I'm saying? They not dumb, ignorant, or stupid. It's just motherfuckers just don't get it sometimes and shit. You know?
Ewok, your generation came up with the perfect way to describe this. Your generation, it's a black thing you wouldn't understand. That's
No
it.
doubt.
I don't expect you to understand it. This is why I don't waste a lot of time explaining this to white people when they say, but my granddad came over here on a boat and he worked that. You wouldn't understand. I could sit here forever and try to explain this to you, European, what they call them, Urugu. You wouldn't understand. So we'll just leave it where it is. Let's just leave it there.
No doubt, man. And
Right.
guess what? You know what I'm saying? I think this was a classic, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what? Learning is, you know what I'm saying? It takes time to learn. You know what I'm saying? Let me just leave it at that.
That's
And
right.
guess
Hey,
what? My Irish friend's still my friend. He in my house right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Ewok.
I love this dude. You know what I'm saying? He'll do for me. You know what I'm saying? I'll do for him. You know what I'm saying?
Pause.
But it ain't just about that. It's about understanding.
Pause.
So that's the whole point. The
Pause.
whole point is about understanding
You got to
at
pause.
the end of the day.
Don't say he'll do me and I do him. Pause.
No, I didn't say that.
I know. I'm
said
fucking with you.
Fuck me, don't fuck around and play with me like that, man. Before I fuck around and come do you.
I've been in the
Nigga, I know
shootout.
where you at. You
Hey.
told me when I was in Milwaukee.
I ain't hiding. That shit.
Fuck around, be around the corner on your ass now.
Yeah.
But hey, Kev, hey, much love and much respect, man. I appreciate you giving us that time on your show, though, for real, man.
No
much
doubt.
love, real. Much love.
For sure,
tomorrow.
for sure.
Talk, man.
Top of the morning to you.
Hey, yo. Hey, that's just what I was talking about. That's
What
what I
you
was talking about, though. The conversations that need to be had, man.
Right.
We need to normalize that shit. Stop feeling funny about it. You know what I mean? If we talk about it, we can tell y'all some truths.
The bottom line is everybody been lied to and indoctrinated by you know what I'm saying? Like I quoted, well, who's that? Lyndon B. Johnson a couple weeks ago when he said, if we can get the lowliest white person to feel that he's at least superior to a black man, we can rob him for the rest of his life. So we are getting played, and a lot of times we get played against each other with the same lies and indoctrination. You know, like the reason we can't have these discussions without emotions coming up and people arguing, because you know it's indoctrination that we coming against.
Right. And once again, man, you ain't gonna solve race relations on no podcast. So, I just have fun with it. It's all good. Y'all hit me up for some of this apparel. We got all kinds of Outlaw Radio stuff in the house. I got coffee mugs. I got shirts. I got a bunch of stuff. Hit me up. Cash App is on the screen. If it's not, let me put it back up. Sharon Evans said, fat, skinny, gay, black, light skin, all got ribbed. In the hood, you did. Ribbed. They didn't have you have on brand new clothes. How's they still talking about me? Right? You got on a brand new fit. You got your best fit on. She said, tell that cracker to shut up. I didn't want to handle him like that.
Damn.
And it's okay. If white people don't know, and they say, well, Kevin, I don't know, because a lot of them, like I said, they're gonna paint everything with a broad stroke and say, well, if there was slavery before America, there were other people who were slaves, and they'll talk about, well, my people were discriminated against. My dad was Jewish, and he sat in a camp in Germany, and all this kind of stuff. They'll say everything except the right thing, which is to say, okay, this shit happened to y'all in the United States of America. We owe y'all. Let's just pay y'all and move forward. That's the only thing I really want to hear a white person say. I don't need for you to tell me about your great grandmother on Ellis Island. I don't need for you to tell me about your German grandfather who escaped a camp in Germany as a Jew. I don't need any of that. All I need for you to say is, damn, it's fucked up what they did to y'all in this country. They need to pay y'all. That's all I need white people to say. That's it. Yeah, we don't need for, well, I just want to explain and say, listen, Peter, not listening to you. Just admit that y'all fucked up and that y'all owe us some bread, and let's move on. That's all. It's a very simple conversation. Y'all let me know, man. Outlaw Nation out there. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. I know I'm kind of open and shut with race because, man, I made some white people go crazy. I made some white dudes' heads pop like, oh my God, you're the racist. And I just give them that whole evil scientist laugh like, ha, 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 ha. This is very true. I've done that shit before too. Like it became a hobby at one point. Like, watch me fuck this white dude up, right? See how many different colors we can make him turn. So that's why I understand Scott when he's trolling. But we was talking about Lizzo though. We kind of got through off. I would just say this, okay? This is my statement on Lizzo. If she's healthy, it's fine. If she's big like that and she's acting out like she say, well, she's stressed out, she go eat 3 cakes and a whole bucket of chicken, then I think, well, somebody needs to step in and say, hold on, sis, you're not gonna be able to survive this way. This will kill you. But if she's going to the doctor, she's eating right, like they say. I don't follow her on Instagram, so I don't know. They say she's on there working out, eating healthy. If that's what she's doing and she's healthy, let that sister live. But at the same time, let Ari Spears live because he gets paid to tell jokes. He gets paid to talk about people. Let him live. If you don't think he's funny, change the channel. If you don't think, oh man, I don't laugh at, because when I see somebody like a comedian pop up and I say, and that person's not funny, I just keep going. I just keep scrolling. I don't even stop. Like, let me see if he's funny today. No, I don't want to hear that shit. Let me keep going. So, if she's healthy, more cushion for the pushing. If not, then sis, you got to do like all fat people, including myself, is doing, saying, damn, I got to figure out a way to eat better and have better habits, so my ass won't be fell out somewhere from all this goddamn cholesterol trapped up in my body. So, and if she need help, it's okay for her to reach out to and say, yeah, I need help, y'all. I can't stop eating Whoppers in the morning. Like, I don't know. I don't know what she eats. I tried to throw one in there on her, and I'm fat, so I guess they're canceling me tomorrow. But shout out to Lizzo. Oh shit! Y'all be on the watch out too, because I put this in the People's News Network. There's a new sickness that's on the rise, I guess, in India, the tomato flu. I'm not making this up. News Network is the tomato flu. They said it's got symptoms similar to COVID, but you get these blisters that are red and they can grow to the size of small tomatoes. So they calling it tomato flu. So we got the chicken pox, the tomato flu, and COVID. And if you black, add diabetes and high blood pressure on there. And on top of all this shit,
the real killers,
right? And on top of all this shit, Tevin Campbell is gay.
Right. Right.
The fuck is going on in this world we living in today? Outlaw Radio on a Monday night, man. Hit us up. We got time for the bullshit for the next couple minutes. If you want to call in, I welcome your opinion, man. My like I said, my job is not to try to teach nobody and make them change their opinion. I like even Kevin, the white guy. I hope he feels like free to hold on to however he feels, man. Like if he, whatever his theories are and how he identifies as a Irishman, and go ahead, man. Like do your thing. I'm not on here trying to tell you what to think. I can tell people, if you really want to get your perspective out, if you really want to just say I'm gonna speak my truth, then get you a show. You can do that shit for hours on end. Like, I don't know who's gonna listen to you, but you could do it, right? So Kevin should start the Irish Kevin show and talk about, slavery wasn't just in Africa, God damn it, black power. I'm fucking with him. Oh man. Uh I want to know this too because we keep talking about double standards and we keep talking about people getting in trouble and we keep talking about people saying things that incriminate them. When is somebody gonna address Cardi B with these comments about how she used to drug men and rob them and sometimes let transgender dudes like rape them? She said this, like Cardi B. You don't remember years when she was a stripper, she would drug dudes and rob them. Take them somewhere for the setup and let like transgender people do things to them. Like I'm trying to figure out how she just kind of skirted past this. It's like the same thing I asked with Eminem is I hear a lot of black people like defend Eminem as this great rapper and this and that. Nobody talks about the song he made when he was talking about black women and black people are dumb and nobody ever talks about that, right? Like, Eminem is a goat. But he has songs. These black girls are dumb. Black girls are gold diggers. Don't ever mess with black girls. They're whores. He made this music, right? You can probably still find it if you look on YouTube. I'm wondering when we gonna go back and.
Yep, he definitely did.
Yeah, so I don't know. Sharon Evans said Irish Kevin. She said Irish Kevin, where everybody was a slave. White power. No. But yeah, like I look at that. And then I had another theory that we floated. And y'all can tell me about this too. Kamar, you might remember this better than Rel. Remember back a couple years ago when the actor Michael K. Williams killed himself? Accidentally, he overdosed on drugs. Omar from The Wire. That's what Blake
said no.
And I said, it seems like to me this brother may have been a little bit tortured because most of his roles that he played a gay dude. And it was aggressive gay stuff that he would like. He'd be in like real live gay love scenes. And so he was talking about in, I guess, his book or his memoir that The Wire, the character that he played on The Wire, is what really kind of pushed him back over the abyss into drug abuse. Because I guess before that, he had an issue and gotten some hell with it. And he's talking about the character that he played on The Wire is what kind of started his descent back into drug abuse. But because I kept saying, like, why do they always pick this dude? And he always
maybe it was just them roles.
Yeah. And it was like not just like a get kind of like he's like tongue kissing men and doing all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, why does he always like? And so I don't know if it was just him feeding his addiction. So he's like, I don't care. I'll take the role. But I feel like those kinds of roles if you're not gay and you're doing that, you would be kind of tortured by it in real life. It would cause some kind of mental kind of issue. So he said that The Wire and some other roles that he played, but almost everything he played, he was gay. So I just, are you all on Monday? Yes, we are. We are. Beauty Waddington. How you doing, sis? We are on. She said George Jefferson. Was George Jefferson gay? Was Sherman Hemsley gay? I don't know. I don't know if he was, but he wasn't playing a gay dude on TV all the time. Maybe if you gay in real life and you play a straight dude on TV, you straight. I don't know. I don't know how this dynamic goes.
Mm-hmm.
Do either one of y'all possibly believe some of that kind of how you go somewhere and brothers, oh man, I watch your movies all the time, but damn, bro, why you always gay? Like, do y'all think that had anything to do with his kind of like this brother overdosed on like heroin and fentanyl and cocaine, like, or did it just? Maybe I'm just drawing too much into it because I didn't like that he always played gay dude.
I think he just liked to get high, and he got that. That was that year that everybody was getting a hold of a bad batch because it was a bunch of folk that was dying from that fentanyl. It was some cocaine that was like cut with some fentanyl at the time. Maybe they had the same pusher, you know what I'm saying?
He was a heroin addict, but he was a heroin addict, I believe.
Heroin?
I believe heroin.
That's probably even more likely. But I'm saying maybe they all got it from the same cat. But that year, it was a lot of people overdosing on that fentanyl.
DMX.
Now, right, yeah. So now, as far as his character, I don't know. I mean, I only knew him being gay as Omar, but even then, he was the stick-up dude. You know what I'm saying? So...
Even in Lovecraft Country, he was gay. I'm talking about his gay scenes in Lovecraft Country, which I watched. I thought it was a great show. And then we get to that point, I say, oh, no. And then I watched him in a show called Hap and Leonard. And in Hap and Leonard, I'm watching him. I said, oh,
damn.
Come on, Michael. Like, what's going
You
on?
know what? He did a skit. Well, I shared a piece that he did where it was him talking to himself. Like it
I
was all
seen that.
kind of and he was talking about typecast. I thought he was talking about typecast in the gangster roles. Maybe he was talking about
Yeah.
being typecast as both.
Yep. Or typecast in that type of role, maybe.
Right.
Because like you say, he always did. He kept getting them kind of roles.
See, I
And
just
he's a
remember him
phenomenal
from
actor.
the gangster show that used to come on HBO.
The
I
Wire.
can't.
The
No,
Wire.
it was one
Oh,
before that
so
when
you
it
talking
was.
about the one in New Jersey?
Yeah, they was
Boardwalk
like it was
Empire.
like old time gangster shit.
Boardwalk
Like
Empire.
there you go. Yeah, I used to love that shit, man.
Now he wasn't gay. Chalky White in there. You're right. He wasn't gay, but that was like the only one that I'd seen because I always like to see him in movies, but then it would always be like a point where he go to tongue kiss some dude, and I'm like, oh, come on, man.
See, it made me curious about this new cat now off that P Valley shit because I think he's married with
A
kids.
boyfriend on the side. Oh,
No, not that he's married with kids, but you know he be having to do this role with this guy that's a transgender type shit. So
yeah. It's a little.
I'm not an actor, so I don't know what line is. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. Because then somebody could say, well, he plays a killer and he's not a killer, or he plays a gangster and he's not a gangster. So what's the difference between playing a gay person? I don't know. Like I see, that's why I never fucked with acting. I ain't got to worry about shit like that. Because I don't know what's the line that people. You know, what line don't you cross for a payday
Okay,
type
so
shit?
I'm not an actor either, but guess what? If I was, and they say, okay, Kevin, this scene you got to tongue kiss Bob. Okay, hold on. So who wrote that? Let's talk about. I don't want to do that. That's the line for me.
I
For
feel
me,
you. I
I
feel
don't.
you.
I'm a thespian. I'm gonna thrust my tongue down his throat. That's not cool. I gotta go home. So when I walk in the house, my son say, "Dad, I was watching your show, and what's up with you and Bob?" Like, oh, son, that was just a role I was playing. Right? Like Kamar, bail me out here, man. Like, I don't know, man.
See, I
Um,
don't know. I don't know that line. I don't know.
right. Sharon Evans said, I think he was gay in real life. He was a dancer and lived with his Latin dance partner. Oh, okay. Okay. He was a sussy, zesty. Um, Beauty Waddington said Sammy Davis was gay. She said Red Fox was gay. George Jefferson. Beauty said everybody gay.
Wait a minute, Red Fox.
Right. Red Fox and Sammy Davis Jr. I didn't know Sammy was gay, baby. I
It
didn't
ain't
know.
so, man.
Right.
Not Red Fox.
Mr. Bojangles,
God
right?
damn
Now
it.
we know why they call him that.
God damn it.
I don't know if
Never
Red
went
Fox was gay.
big.
Right. I mean, does it take away from your art if you gay in real life? I don't think so. But I'm saying for
I
me,
don't know.
it's just okay. So, okay, I'm a dinosaur. I'm a caveman. And I'm still not used to watching movies where all of a sudden we get to a scene where it's two men locked up, tongue kissing each other and making love to each other. For me, I'm still like, whoa, shit, turn. Like, hold on, give me the remote. I'm still not cool with that. And that's why I don't watch P Valley. People say P Valley is, I'm just being honest, right? Like, once again, we talk about on Outlaw Radio, you don't got to come on here and put on no airs, right? You ain't got a lot of kick it. I'm still not cool with that, right? I'm still uncomfortable to see two men in a deep, deep tongue kiss. I'm still like, oh, shit. Oh, I could play it off and be like, well, ain't got nothing to do with me. But in my mind, I'm like, holy shit, look at these dudes. This is crazy. And I'm just being honest about it. And people say, oh, why you want to do it? No, it's strange to me. It's strange behavior. That's what I'm saying. Because I know how people think, like, oh, you, so what? Right? Well, if you fine with that, then, that's for you. If you just, me personally, I'm like, I'm gonna get up and move. I'm just gonna let y'all have this area. I'm gonna go over here. TR Arthur said Red Fox wasn't gay.
Woo!
Fred G. Sanford, and the G stands for gay. Fred Gay Sanford. Sanford and Son. But yeah, man, I don't know. People, once again, for me, the LGBTQ thing, I don't have a problem with gay people doing just gaying and just gaying. I think gay people should gay up. Like, if you gay, right? Like, I'm for real. Like, that's why I say if you a gay dude, like, do it up. Like, just be gay, but don't be mad at me because I'll be like, I'm right. Yeah. Like, if you gay, man, do it up, man. Like, get out there. I'm just saying, don't get mad at me if I say, oh, but I'm not gay. If I say it just like that, like, nah, but I ain't gay though, bro. That's cool. Don't get mad at me and be like, oh, what do you mean you're not gay? I mean, I'm not gay. That shit's not attractive to me. You can't get mad at me because I said that. If I say go and get your gay on, you say, well, get your straight on. See, now we got to understand that fair exchange ain't no robbery. My only problem comes when you get mad at me and start telling me what I should like. That shouldn't bother you. Well, y'all two dudes and you sitting on his lap kissing him. I'm not. I usually don't have that right.
And this ain't nothing that I'm used to.
Right. So people say, well, we found out Kevin's racist and he's homophobic tonight. Right. So, you see how he treated that poor Irishman? White power. The whole show isn't about the two guys. It's about strippers. I know, Beauty. I know it's not, but I don't need, like, that's like, okay, I don't like my food to touch. I don't know if I've ever told y'all this. I do not like my food to touch, right? if I'm eating something that got like juice or moisture, and pause, I'm talking about like greens or like spaghetti with sauce, I don't put it on a plate where it can run and mix with everything else. I put that in different containers because I don't like my food to mix. So if I'm gonna watch a show about strippers, female, like a female strip club, I just want it to be about that. When you mix gay stuff in there and you start being like, oh, yeah, some people might respect that variety, but me personally, I say now my food is running together. I don't like
you know how much gay shit go on in the strip club. Like, I mean,
I don't know.
Just like,
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't.
I mean, they go hand in hand, man. Like, so that show is like,
I don't know. I've never been in a strip club with women and there's gay dudes in there. Unless they was fronting. Now, if they was in there fronting, that's not my fault. You can't blame me for that. But I'm saying I'm not two gay dudes coming here like, hey, we came to, like, I'm leaving the Cheetah Club. Like two gay dudes just walk. I never seen that in the Cheetah Club, or maybe I'm so old. I just aged myself.
Cheetah Club.
Or what was
Stargazers.
Right? Like that show you how long it's been since I've even been close to a damn strip club, right?
Man.
Which I don't have no business being, right? Tiarsha Arthur said you are gay. Gay means happy. That ain't what it means for me. I'm not gay at all. Even if it means happy, I'm not gay. I'm just happy. I'm not gay. I'm not paying the $5. I'm not gay. She said I didn't say it. I'm sorry, Beauty. I'm sorry. Who said that? The show. Tiarsha said that. I lied on Beauty. My fault. Tiarsha said the whole show ain't about gays, it's about strippers. So I'm sorry. I fuck up all the time. Tiarsha said, so you are like Monk. He doesn't like his food touching. I don't know who Monk is, but I'm assuming he's a gay character.
Remember that show?
I hate that goddamn show, man.
A long time ago, he was real picky about germs and all that type of shit. He had ADHD like a motherfucker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was he gay?
No, I don't think
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I'm being. Look. I don't. Anytime I fix my plate, I can't have stuff running together. I'm not.
That's cool. Wild, man. Not even your yams and your macaroni and cheese. Like
I don't eat yams.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't eat yams.
We just learning all kind of stuff about you tonight, G.
Yeah, man.
Like,
come on, cover Kevin, right?
Kevin, this nigga ain't black.
Right.
He don't even eat yams, right? Like a sweet potato, I don't like. No, I don't like yams.
Oh shit! The black
Am
delegation
I the only black person that don't like
to trade black Kevin for Irish Kevin.
Right? Okay. Because I don't eat yams, right? I get you. No. Sharon Evans said, "I know how you feel, Kev. There are some things you don't need to see because you can't unsee it." I mean, yeah, that's but I would just prefer not to. Like, once again, as a consumer, I like to choose what I'm watching. I don't like to turn on a movie and it goes all over the place. And I'm like, well, I'm not even interested in this no more, but I got to sit there and watch it. I'll just turn the channel. Like if I was watching P-Valley and there was some stripper scenes, and I'm not even saying I'm watching because I want to watch stripper shows. I'm just saying if that's why I was watching it, all of a sudden it was two dudes hammering each other backstage, I'd turn and I would never watch it again because I'd be like, man, I'm not. Because I used to watch Oz. I don't know if I used to watch Oz, and for a long time they would sneak those gay scenes in Oz, and then it got to the point where I would just turn and be like, I'm not even watching this shit no more. And I understand this prison, maybe that happens, but I'm not in prison. I don't need to be bearing witness to this. This ain't something I'm interested in. So, yeah, man, you know, T.R. Arthur said, hand my black card over. If it's based on me eating yams, you can have it. I don't like yams. It's
Damn.
a lot of black people stuff I don't eat. Like I don't really like peach cobbler all that much. I'm not really
What about the bottom crust, G? Like I only like the bottom crust of peach cobbler. Like I don't want the peaches. I just want that bottom crust and that syrup shit.
I don't like hot fruit.
I don't either. I don't either. That's why I want peach cobbler without the peaches. I just want the bottom crust and the syrup.
I don't. First of all, I don't really like pie. So, like, rarely will you see me eating a piece of pie. Like, I guess it depends on what it's made out of and whatnot. But I mean, I don't. It's a lot of black people stuff. I don't. You know, that you think black people like. That's why we have the 100% rule, which is you can't ever say 100% of anything is true for one group of people.
Right.
Like, some black people shit that I'm true to, right? Like chicken and shit like that, and you know, malt liquor or whatever, Newports or whatever. But I'm just like like old English and shit. Like, yeah, all that shit, I'm cool with that. So you like old English but don't like yams. Yeah, see the quirkiness of that? You know what I'm saying? I don't like rutabagas, right? Like I don't like a lot of shit that other black people will run you over for. Like, oh man, give me one of them. Like, what's that shit that everybody used to eat? I used to just call it weeds. They used to be like rhubarb. I used to be like, well, that shit grow in our backyard. We put poison on it. You gonna eat that nasty shit? Like, I like watermelon. My rule has always been I won't eat watermelon in front of white people, but I've thrown that out. I've gotten over that.
Yeah.
I used to have real breakdowns in North Dakota when I'd be in the cafeteria because they always had watermelon. And like I knew it was a bunch of white people. I wanted some of that fucking watermelon so bad.
They were watching you too.
But I felt like they was watching me saying,
look, there he
goes. He's going for it.
We knew
he
it.
got it.
White power. I felt like they was watching me, right? Like it was anxiety, man. Like I one time I'm gonna tell you how bad this shit got since we being honest. One time it got so bad in North Dakota, man, when I was going to school up there, I grabbed some watermelon, like 2 little bowls of it, and put it on my guy plate. And he was like, "What you doing?" I put it on this tray, and I was like, "Just bring this to the table for me." And I just kind of over on my plate, right? And so, and I was looking around like these motherfuckers gonna see me. That they better not say shit. But yeah, man, watermelon is the shit, man. I don't know, you know. I'm working. I'm in therapy for that, man. Some of y'all might be comfortable with eating water. Like I love Petey Green, the legendary broadcaster from DC. And have you ever seen the movie with Don Cheadle, Talk to Me? It's a great story. But in real life, Petey Green do the skit with the watermelon. It's a very shameful thing. It makes me feel very bad. It set us back a bunch of years. It was just crazy. And you've seen it before. You just don't know it's Petey Green. And he's, oh, I eat watermelon. And it's so bad. It's so bad. Google it or look it up, and y'all will see. I'm gonna bring the clip for the next show. I'm gonna show y'all Petey Green eating a watermelon. Y'all be careful out here, man, with the flossing. Now, we always talk about social media. Now in Atlanta, there's this thing, this drug rich gang, where they was going around robbing celebrities and anybody who's flossing on Instagram. Like Instagram ain't for me, because when I go on Instagram, I just leave there feeling bad about myself. Like, damn, I ain't got no Ferrari. I ain't got no Porsche. I just feel like that's a place for celebrities to go and floss, and for broke people to go in front. Like, because you see people on there trying, I'm living my best life up on the gram, right? But celebrities is making money off of it. They're flossing. But in Atlanta, they was robbing them. They was running up in the Marlo Hampton from the Housewives, the football player guy. They all been robbed by this gang, this drug rich gang in Atlanta. So they're cracking down now. They indicting everybody, man. Them Rico acts is flying in Atlanta right now. Motherfuckers is about to take some trips up north to camp, right? Well, that too. Well, Rico act usually
that's why they flying like that. They snitching, man. The people don't never know nothing until somebody tell them so.
Well, when they tap your phone, they tend to find out, right?
Somebody told them who to tap.
That's true. That's true. Right. Rub your chest if that's the one.
Look,
talking to him in his earpiece, right? All them earpieces ain't AirPods. Some of them motherfuckers talking straight to the feds. You know, this just this motherfucker is a lieutenant. You know what? One of the only other controversial things I got before we close it out. Well, I got a couple actually. I'm underestimating myself. Number one was shout out to the black students at Marquette because they have this, I don't what they call it, a convocation or whatever every year. Marquette, this traditional private school, Jesuit university, they have some sort of religious ceremony every year. I forget what it's called. It's a honors, like you come there as a freshman. I forget what they call it. Maybe it's not called convocation, but I forget what it's called. But the black students at Marquette have been protesting some of the conditions that they deal with for years. Well, they tried to do this last week, and them kids, them brothers, them young brothers and sisters got out there and shut that shit down. They got bullhorns, they got microphones. They shut it down. They had to cancel it and reschedule it. And the crazy part is like one of the heads of Marquette is a black dude. Right? Well, he's melanated. I don't know if he with us. But sometimes when cats from overseas be over here, they be melanated, but I'm not with them. I'm not with them. And he was kind of like saying, I wish they wouldn't have had it done that here. And then, but the brother who, and it's in the People's News Network, the brother who spoke very passionately. I might try to reach out to him. I know young people don't tend to like to do what we do on Facebook. They nobody be on Facebook with old people. But he was very passionate and he was very clear about what's going on with black kids at Marquette. And I was glad to see that they got out there and shut that shit down, right? He said, shut them down, man. So I was proud of those kids. Beauty said they're still putting up towers. Oh, yeah. Marquette. Well, they do have an enrollment kind of problem. And so they've been talking about that, but we know they got endowment, rich alumni, very rich white power university. But then we have Fat Joe. Right. Then we have Fat Joe who comes out and says, hey, black people and Spanish people co-created hip hop. So people are upset with Fat Joe saying, once again, here we go again, trying to take the creation of hip hop away from black people. And so I watched a couple films. I'm very familiar with hip hop, the history of it, something that I research a lot. And I do realize that in New York, in the Bronx, especially in whatever parts of the boroughs of New York, a lot of Latinos were heavily involved in hip hop, especially with breakdancing and graffiti. I vividly remember even in Milwaukee, a lot of Latino dudes who were into the breakdancing, and they was cold, and they were good at the spray paint aspect of it, which graffiti is an element of hip hop.
Yeah.
But when you say creation, you talk about the establishment, the founding of the essence, the capturing of the energy, the innovation of the creativity that's placed up on this music, the savoir-faire, the sauce, the seasoning. The young boys call it drip. It's all black people, right? And this is the reason why there's way more classic black MCs than there are classic Latino MCs. Now, I know if you're Latino, you say, no, that's not true. Big Pun, Fat Joe, Mellow Man Ace, Kid Frost. You talk about the historical, from the Rocksteady crew, the Breakers from New York, the graffiti artists, some of the MCs that were Latinos. I'm not saying that that's not the case. I'm not saying that there's not Latinos aren't really heavily involved in hip hop. Not saying that at all. When we talk about who created it,
right? I think they just talking about. I think he was basically just talking about the lifestyle of hip hop, not
right.
The music. You know what I'm saying? Because hip hop is a lifestyle. They got
it's a whole culture.
The breakdance and the MC, the DJ,
the graffiti artist.
So when you talk about, making the shedding light to the lifestyle, actually living the lifestyle, yeah, they did help make that grow. But again, I don't think creation is the right word.
Right.
And I guess it all comes down to what element, like Kamal was saying, what element of hip hop are they referring to? Because if you're referring to the DJing and the MCing, the Jamaican culture of New York brought that over from Jamaica with the big ass speakers. Yeah, the big ass speakers, outdoor DJing, and the motherfucker talking and rewinding it, and playing it back. That's Jamaican. So if they talking about the DJ and the MCing, that was Jamaican. But the New Yorkers and shit like that, they were on the same block. So I did used to see, like me just growing up, I saw it was a lot of Hispanic breakers. Like I seen graffiti artists and breakers more of the Latin persuasion. I can't really name too many MCs. Like I damn near could probably name more Latin DJs than I can MCs. But as far as like the MCing part, that was the Jamaicans. But as far as hip hop as a culture, that was the Jamaicans, the blacks, and I would say the Latins. You know, the Puerto Ricans in New York.
But even the DJing element of it, when we talk about break beats and cutting and scratching, black people.
Right.
About lyrics as opposed to yes, yes, y'all. Yes, yes, y'all. When we talk about Rakim, we talk about Kane, we talk about Pac, we talk about KRS-One, we talk about the dudes that elevated this art form and where they got it from, the Cool Mo D's and the Furious Five, Melly Mel. These are brothers. This is what we created. So if those elements came together, right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because I think it's unique that you don't hear Jamaicans saying, nah, they don't even got to speak on it. It is what it is. But I still look at Fat Joe's place as an MC, which is, let's be honest, not on my top 25.
Yeah.
Very accomplished, long hip hop career, entirely a factor, very well respected.
Right.
I've never bought a Fat Joe album.
Yeah.
Right? Never.
I kind of like him more as a podcast guest than I do.
Right. He's a great interview. He's a great interview. Right. And also, Fat Joe is a Latino that routinely gets away with the use of the word nigga. Right? Nigga this, nigga that, boom, 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 boom. Right. And so
they the same thing.
Well, yeah.
And you got dropped off first. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
I just think you have to be very careful when you start talking about, like Kamar said, the word create is where it stops at for me. If you want to say heavily supporters, big time participants, yes. Pioneers in terms of certain elements of hip hop, yes. But when you say creator, we ain't co-created this with nobody. This is our music. I just get tired of people trying to take it from us. It's like over and over, black people create some shit and somebody else got to step in and say, but we helped. Like black people can never just have something. Like motherfuckers always got to say we helped. But when there's some shit we helped do, they don't want to give us credit. Right? So when we talk about jazz, there's some motherfuckers say, oh, we actually are a lot of white jazz musicians. You talk about rock. Well, there's a lot of great rockers, white rockers. Now with hip hop, Latinos helped y'all with that shit. It's like, damn. And this is the problem with us sharing everything with everybody, right? We so welcoming. We're so friendly, right? Like, and this is what also makes it a shame that we done been treated the way we've been treated in this country, is that we the most loving, giving, supporting, friendly people you can actually ever encounter. But they say we're out of control, violent, irresponsible, anti-social, anti-Semitic, homophobic. But most black people don't want to do shit but get something to eat and get something to drink and go somewhere and go to sleep. Everything you do in between that, maybe you might have sex, maybe you might smoke some weed, maybe you might toot some cane, but at the end of the day, you just want to come home and go to sleep, right? You want to get you something to eat and come in. I was high the motherfucker last night eating, then I went to sleep. That's the best way for a black person's day to end. So, it makes more sense. It makes less sense on how we've been treated in this country, and they've tried to create a certain kind of image for us. Beauty said, I love this show. It's so amazing how informative you all are. Hats off to you all. Appreciate it, Beauty. Share the show. She said, coming out of slavery, we had to let other people sing our music. Well, a lot of people don't even understand that gospel music was utilized as kind of like a code for us to speak to each other at one point, right? And hip hop was too, because at a certain point, those rappers were talking directly to young black male. Chuck D was talking to us. Tupac was talking to us. Ice Cube was talking to us. Farrakhan with his word with the nations talking to us. Malcolm's talking to us. There's a lot of instances in this country where we are talking to each other and we doing it in public, but y'all just don't know what the fuck we talking about because we doing it in our own unique way. The only bad part is it always catches on. Like, hey, that shit was kind of catchy how they did that shit. Okay, let me get this straight. It's not any fun if my homies. What is he saying?
There's gonna be some nigga to try to teach him what everything means.
Right. There you go. Come on over here. Let me explain to you what it meant. See, he meant that he wanted to shed a girl. See,
that's every culture. That's why Bruce Lee got. That's why they used to come fight Bruce Lee, because he was teaching white folk how to do Wing Chun and shit. So
Well, I just found out they was fighting because he owed him money for cocaine. So it wasn't
word
look
that
that up.
would be funny as hell though.
Bruce Lee was a cocaine head. A lot of people don't know he's a powder head.
I believe it. That nigga had too. I mean, he had too much strength to be so little, man.
Rail, you a researcher? Look it up. I bet you when
I
you
bet. I used to research the black dude who beat Bruce Lee. You ever seen dude?
I've heard I've did some information. I read some
Yeah, he came to the dojo and shit. Trying to challenge folks like if you could touch me. Bruce Lee used to be cocky as fuck. It
right,
was a black dude that beat him. They don't tell
right,
you that shit though.
right. Of course not, because So it's Monday. We'll be back Wednesday. Kamar, you got anything between 9 and 10, or you get to finally rest? I seen, hey man, and I'm kind of disappointed in you. I seen you harvest your greens and all that. You ain't offer your boy a bundle or nothing.
Man.
Man.
Oh man, hey, look, I got some greens in the freezer.
No tomatoes
That's
and
dope.
nothing. You supposed to be my consultant, and you ain't said, Kev, I got some fresh veggies for you or nothing, man.
I got greens in the freezer, man. I'll bring you some when I cook them. I want you to get some vegan greens.
You see how we floss on each other? I bring you some when I cook them, motherfucker. You couldn't bring me no fresh ones and let my wife cook them because she know how to break them down and make them delicioso, right?
Yeah, she know how to do it too.
Right.
She know how to do it too. So yeah, I may bring you a pot.
Oh man, that show would be kind of you, Miss Carter. The show would be kind of. He all up on Facebook and shit like, hey, I'm like, nigga didn't even bring me a pepper or nothing.
They was looking good.
Hey, look, man, we be over here eating out the garden, man. I got patches where the cabbage used to be and shit.
Right.
Always talking about community. You ain't share them greens with the community. Goddamn it.
Hey, I gave some tomatoes out.
Oh wow.
I
feel even more offended.
I did share some. My garden wasn't that big this year, but next year, man, listen, my whole backyard finna be a garden, dog.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rail, you said you got the CBD products coming. You got some products. You got some stuff coming. What's the update? How long we looking at this timeline?
Right now I just got to get my labels made, man. But I got I was doing all plant-based shit. So plant-based soap, plant-based lotion. Because your body absorbs 60% of the shit you put on it. So if you look at your health and beauty products, and out of 10 ingredients, you're not willing to eat 6 of them motherfuckers, you probably shouldn't put it on your skin. So that's why I'm going to be coming with the body wash, lotions, bath salts and soaks, as well as the safe powder, man. Because it was talcum powder making people pussy fall out and shit. So
wow.
they had them thinking that it was they had them thinking it was that HPV shit when really it was Johnson & Johnson, knowing that asbestos was in their powder. So I come with an all natural body powder as well that ain't got asbestos or talc in it and shit like that.
Right. And if Beauty says she wants a t-shirt, if you want a t-shirt, just send me your size, inbox me your size, and then I'll give you the price because it varies depending on your size. I hate to fat shame, but if some of y'all like got multiple X's, I got to pay a little bit more for the t-shirt. And I'm one of those who got to pay a little bit more. Like I can't, always got to look at the price in the store when they say on sale. Like, nah, you can't get that one. So inbox me with your size and then I'll let you know the price and you can cash app me. That's the cash app right there. Kamar Tiarsha Arthur said Kamar make sure the greens are not touching other vegetables. Real shit. Real shit.
Right, man.
Real shit. Hey, she ain't lying. Listen. And when my wife makes greens, and when she makes like greens and there's something else, I usually give me a bowl on the side and put because I don't want collard green juice all over everything else. Listen, it is what it is.
Do you at least crumble your cornbread into your greens?
I will. There's occasions where I've been known to eat some cornbread and some greens, and that's fine.
Cool. Okay.
But I don't want the cornbread to be sitting on the plate and the juice to run into it.
It's the same.
Right? It's not.
Yeah, I feel you, G.
I don't like it. I don't want none of this shit. I don't want it.
You, man.
I don't. So, and I got dressing and it's got fucking collard green juice all in it. And disgusting. I don't like that shit.
I feel you.
I don't like unless I put gravy on my mashed potatoes. Yeah, that's fine.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Drink my collard green juice.
See,
Right.
I drink the shit out of that collard
That
green
pot
juice.
liquor. That's pot liquor, man.
to each his own, man. And from what my mom told me, that was the way she got me going when I was a baby. When I brought me home
Yeah.
premature and sickly, and she said, "Nah, they was telling her you got to give him this." She said, "I know exactly what to give him." She gave me some pot liquor. But since then, I don't like that shit on my plate. And they used to tell her, fix my plate. I don't want no juice on my plate, mama. And she was like, "Okay, baby, I can put it on a different plate for you." So it is what it is, man. I have a great time every time I turn this equipment on, man. Y'all share the show. Y'all share the show. Hit like, hit share, hit follow. Grab a book from Rail. Grab some supplements from Kamar. Hit me up for some apparel. I still have a couple of these. And we had these a couple years ago, but I got these coming back as well. Outlaw Radio, the coffee mugs. I'm about to get my apparel game back jumping, man. Support the show. Like I said, man, y'all let me know what your sizes are. I'll hit you with a price. I ain't gonna knock the stuff out your Egg McMuffin. It's not a polo t-shirt, it's an outlaw t-shirt. But just respect the labor and the love put into it, man. And so I'm trying to get enough so we can get everybody's logos put on t-shirts, and we have a store where you can come in there and pick and say, give me one of them, give me one of them, give me a book, give me some sea moss, and give me a t-shirt, right? Hey, thank you kindly. Right?
It's definitely coming.
For sure.
Right. So peace and love, man. Until Wednesday, man, y'all keep y'all head on the swivel. Be safe out here. If you're driving, be a defensive driver. Make sure your doors is locked at night. Are the t-shirts men or unisex? They're unisex. You can get V-necks. I'll do customs if females wanted a certain way. If it's all about what we can work out, and we're real flexible on how we do it, right? So if you say I don't know what a unisex t-shirt looks like, so I thought t-shirts was t-shirts. So it's something I might have to. So when my baby, what's a unisex t-shirt? I know what that is. I'm guaranteeing you she know if I don't know. So yeah, however you want it, Tiarsha Arthur. However you want it. If you want a unisex, we'll get you a unisex. Different colors and stuff like that. We just want to get our apparel back flowing, get these lines open, and get our exposure out here, man, so we can get the just due that we deserve. But like I said, man, be safe. People always say be safe and stay dangerous. I don't know about that. Just be safe is my main thing. You won't have to be too dangerous if you're safe. If you're driving, keep your head on the swivel. Be a defensive driver. If you got kids in MPS, check on them babies. MPS has a teacher shortage. They have a staffing shortage. So kids are not getting what they should be getting. Make sure you get in that building and check on your babies and make sure they got what they supposed to have. Call them teachers and say, where we short at? Because I need to know what my son or my daughter's not getting. You know what I'm saying? You got to be aware. You can't be no square. So until Wednesday night, man, que sera, sera. It is what it is. Whenever you come on the show and you want to speak, let me know, because you are right and you are wrong. And we're going to make sure we point out both instances, right? And in the meantime, and in between time, understand, man, you can't be one of those people who criticize our community more than you contribute to it. Because if that's your MO, we're going to call your ass a coon and keep it moving. I'll see y'all Wednesday night, man. Peace and love.
Peace.